Craveable Podcast, Episode 12, Holiday Foods and Traditions.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hello and welcome to the Craveable Podcast, where real matters. We are your hosts, Ben and Katie, and this show is brought to you by Fossil Farms. Today, we are getting into the holiday season.
You're giddy.
It is upon us. So we're going to talk about holiday foods, holiday traditions. We're going to have some of our people weigh in here, some of our behind the scenes people, as it were.
Behind the scenes, behind the screens.
Exactly. Some of them didn't want to, but we're going to make them.
Yep, we're going to make them anyway. All you have to do is yell out from the peanut gallery when we get to, not any time ahead of that.
They have a microphone. They don't need to yell out. But Ben, I want you to take this away. You know, let's take it away because you also are very excited.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think anybody who's worked with me over the last 5 years will know that I am, not a big Christmas guy. I won't go so far to say that I'm all bahumbug about Christmas, but if you've worked in our industry or, God forbid, retail, which I have for the last, 10, 15 years, and that's your holidays are always a little bit busy and hectic and crazier than they normally would be in an unpleasant way. So I don't really get to relax until, I don't know, the first week of January. But I am a big fan of Christmas Day, or rather Christmas Eve, because that's how we celebrate. So let me start with that. My family is German. They came over in 1990, and we've held the same tradition that we celebrate Christmas Eve as our gift exchange night and like doing all our gift opening and having things in the tree, doing Christmas dinner, everything on Christmas Eve. And then Christmas Day is basically like back to normal. Like I've never had a Christmas morning. I've never awoken to gifts under the tree. It's usually me waking up and going to play with the gifts I had from the night before because it's
what
like
about
17.
Stockings? You guys don't do stockings?
We do stockings on December 6th.
What? Is that a German thing?
Yes, also German thing. We celebrate the Feast of St. Nicholas. St. Nikolaus. And my mom fills our stockings.
Your mom?
Yeah, she knitted
You mean Santa Claus?
No, I don't believe in Santa Claus.
Okay.
We'll get that out of the way right away.
Go ahead. What does your mother do?
She had knitted these stockings when we were kids, and she stuffs them with chocolate and other small toys and goodies. Well, it used to be toys. Now it's underwear, or even more recently, I got the whole family on the Darn Tough socks out of Vermont. American made, baby. Love, 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 love my hiking socks.
The show is not brought to you by Darn Tough.
Not brought to you by Darn Tough. Love these socks. They're in every Christmas stocking these years, the last 2 years, which is great. I can't wait to get a pair again this year because they're like over $20 for a pair of socks.
But they're darn tough.
They
am I right?
are the best socks.
I've never even heard of them.
We're not a sock podcast, but I do love Christmas. I cook Christmas dinner. You've heard me talk about the elk tenderloin that we are ardently trying to convince people on the inside over here to let us cook for camera, and then we get to eat it. But we do want to showcase that recipe to you guys at some point. But yeah, I kind of celebrate Christmas before Christmas even gets started for most people in America.
Interesting. So yeah, I mean, my family, we did not come here from Germany, but we do mainly Christmas Day. So it kind of depends, similar to Thanksgiving, the plan of where we're celebrating and who's involved does change from year to year and location to location. But ever since we were kids, my brother and I have stockings, and now my sister-in-law has a stocking. Of course, my nephews have stockings. The boyfriend's got a stocking now. And my brother and my stockings are kind of like the OG, like the original stockings that my Nana, my dad's mom, knitted for us so long ago. And they're awesome. You know what? Can you look at me when I'm talking?
I'm looking at the camera. I was told to look at the camera.
So, no, I wish I had a picture of these stockings. They're so beautiful. My brother's is like toy soldiers, and mine, I mean, I'm partial to mine. It's so well done. I cannot believe she knitted this. It's literally like a beautiful Christmas tree, and Santa's like leaning over it going, shh. And he's got like a bag of presents. It's
that's adorable.
It's so well done. I cannot believe to this day that she knitted it. So we have these beautiful homemade stockings that my Nana made us, and always stuff that we still have snacks, functional things, the little toys. Yeah, it's like airplane bottles and like little tissues and hand sanitizers and scratch off lottery
toys, and then you said airplane bottles. You mean like little
alcohol,
shooters of alcohol?
Yeah,
okay, yeah.
All different types of fun stuff for an adult.
A toy. I'll allow it.
And so obviously those have changed throughout the years, but that's usually like still classic. Like the first thing we do.
Wait, hold on. Pause.
Yeah,
so these are the same gifts that you've been getting since you were kids, right? You were getting nips.
No, they were small toys. What I was trying to
Fireball
convey,
back then. It was a lower ABV.
I was trying to convey that what has replaced the little toys in recent years.
Good. I'm jealous.
But still, it's, that's like the thing you do Christmas morning is first you hit the stockings. You stockings first, and maybe depending on how you feel, maybe take a break for breakfast. My dad, not so much anymore, but like in our even young and teenage years, like chocolate chip pancakes. He makes great chocolate chip pancakes. You go to the kitchen, make some pancakes, get some coffee, come back in, get on the presents. I remember one year, I think it still exists in the basement somewhere. Sorry, Dad. But one year I came down and in front of my stocking was this giant purple stuffed snake. It was so cool. It was like this big, like huge and like wound all around. And it was like super soft and fluffy and purple. And I loved it. And that was really cool.
Wow. That sounds like a sick Christmas you had last year.
Hilarious, man.
Do you have any traditions that only your family does? Like, do you have special family traditions?
Oh, really? Honestly, I mean, well, I'll call this a tradition. So we always decorate the tree together. So, you're laughing at my traditions now.
You said alcohol is a tradition, didn't you?
No, I said I'll call this a tradition.
Oh, thank goodness.
Did you guys hear alcohol too? No, I said I'll call this a tradition. All right, guys, let's everyone take a breather.
Yes.
So we always decorate the tree
Continue,
together. So in recent years, it's only like my dad and I, but he'll go to this really, really nice Christmas tree farm I think it's in Chatham, Hidden Pond, I believe. Definitely go see that guy. He's awesome. Really, really great trees. And my dad will put it up and he'll do like lights. And then I'll always come over and we'll decorate the tree together. So we'll put on like some Christmas music. And that's like super tradition. Like I would be so bummed if my dad was there, decorating the tree without me, or my dad and my stepmom decorating the tree. I'd be like,
heck, Dad?
I need to be there. So that's really fun. We do that. But other than that, I mean, no like really hardcore traditions other than most of the celebrating is on Christmas. Like Christmas Eve, might have a nice meal depending on who's going where, when.
Yeah.
But the kind of like main dinner is usually on Christmas. My dad loves to do, have I talked about the stuffed prime rib yet?
Yeah. I was going to ask if you guys changed it up. I remember we did prime rib last year.
Not really. No, that's like the last 6 years, Ben. He does this. He gets like a whole prime rib and he'll like, you cut off like a little kind of triangular section like near the bone, at the base of the spinalis like muscle, and he
carve out the actual meat section from
kind of, but not a lot. Like it's just a little bit, and then he makes this bacon spinach stuffing and puts it in there, and then roasts the whole thing, and just everyone gets one, which is insane because it's like 2 pounds of meat and it takes up the whole plate.
Yeah.
So then you got to try to eat as much prime rib as you can so you can put sides on the plate. And
a Piedmontese export rib is like 12 pounds.
Yeah.
Is there like 6 of you? That's awesome.
It is. It is
so
awesome.
Cool. We're so jealous right now.
He'll get like, I think he's got the local Angus the last couple of years, but gosh, is it a stunning
penny pinching.
We're coming for you. The Flaxenhars are coming for the Lehars.
Dude, I wish we did prime rib roast in my house. I don't think I've ever had I've never in the history of my life have I had a prime rib cooked at home, ever.
Oh, my dad
only
is
at
like
friends'
the king.
houses.
Yeah, he does that.
Very American.
And then my mom will do different stuff. Like my dad is kind of set on that, but my mom's a very adventurous cook, and she'll do. She'll have all types of ideas. She'll be like, "Oh, what do you want? We can do this, we can do this, we can do that." And so she's open to anything, because our schedules change a lot, and oftentimes because again of the work schedule. And my mom doesn't live in New Jersey. We are often doing a holiday celebration after the holidays. So it's kind of fun in that way too, though, because it's like, all right, what do we feel like having? Like whatever we feel like, let's do it, and we'll usually cook together. Hopefully maybe my brother and sister-in-law are there with the kids. So it's fun. But no, our family isn't really rooted in strict traditions. It's more of just like we typically celebrate on Christmas Day and this, that.
Yeah, and you have a tighter nuclear family that you guys are celebrating with. It's not like the whole clan getting together. I don't know. Do you have a clan? My family's very much like not a clan family, where it's like we have
I mean, there's not very many of us.
6, 7 of us now that my sister had her daughter, and that's like she's a literal baby, so I don't think she's gonna be eating any of the elk at Christmas.
No, I mean, but again, like it depends, because there have been years when we will literally all get together. It's like me, my mom, my dad, my stepmom, my brother, my sister-in-law, my nephews, maybe some of my sister-in-law's family, and it's like that's like rolling deep. That's like, everybody. But then there's times when it might just be like me, my dad, and my stepmom having dinner one night, and then like the next night, maybe like my mom and my brother-in-law, my brother and my sister-in-law and me are having it, so it really does depend. But at the base, no, it's not a very large family.
Yeah.
But do you said you did some preparation for this episode, which is like total role reversal for one of the last episodes of the podcast.
I know, yeah. Usually I have all the knowledge in my head already before we go into recording, so I don't have to do research, and that was basically the case here. But I did want to bring up some, let's call them global traditions from some other cultures, which kind of ties into when we had the Turkey Talk episode. And I was like, wouldn't it be cool to see how other people, especially people who are like first generation or second generation Americans, are now co-opting and celebrating, not co-opting, it's a negative connotation, but making their own Christmas traditions, so to speak. And I know, and you might have heard of this too, but it's interesting to see how people across the world celebrate Christmas. So in Japan, the infamous thing is that in Japan, a lot of people end up ordering KFC on Christmas. Yeah, you never heard of this, you guys?
No.
Audience? No, yeah. KFC gets tons of like pre-ordered chicken for Christmas.
Like fried
people
chicken?
order, fried chicken
whole?
meals. I don't know if they do whole, if it's like a bucket, 15-piece bucket. I don't know. But they do get KFC for Christmas, which I think is really interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
I know that in, I believe it's an Italian tradition. I could be wrong. I know when I was growing up, my best friends were 100% Puerto Rican, and they did this every year. I know Puerto Rican's not Italian.
That's okay.
That's why I ended the sentence on a questioning intonation in my voice, okay? For all of you sniggering in this room.
Today? Continue.
You feel that way? That's so funny. This is just how I feel. But so no, it's like before Christmas, and you leave. I forget what day it is, but it's like, I mean, it's after. I have obviously no idea about this tradition. We don't do it, but you basically leave out carrots and water for the wise men's camels. And you like on your nightstand. This is why I don't share my opinions. I just get laughed at.
It's not an opinion. You're sharing a tale.
No, and so they would leave out like carrots and water, and then you get like a couple very small little like almost stocking like things from the wise men. So
interesting.
Yeah. Do you know about that?
The three magic kings.
The three magic kings.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm right, right? Do you leave out like carrots and water for the camels? Like a little present, right? Yeah. Is that before Christmas or after Christmas?
That's after. It's
right.
That's interesting. Do you think they brought their own camels, or do you think they had to rent camels when they got to the desert?
Sorry.
I mean, because those three magi were coming from all over the place, and they weren't all kings if they're magi. I mean, there's so much.
Okay, all right. Anyway, Ben, what about some of the other traditions you learned about? Tell us.
Some of the other ones was everybody talks about like Christmas rum cake and stuff like that, but that actually comes from older plum pudding that they would have in England, and then when they had all their colonies in the Caribbean and they found rum, they were like, it's actually really good. Not this dry cake with this dried fruit in it, but I just dropped a bottle of rum on it. It's really good right now. So rum cake is a big UK tradition and Caribbean tradition for the holidays now, because of that trade that they had from the colonies in the Caribbean, which I found really interesting.
What about fruitcake? Do you know about the origins of Christmas fruitcake? Because I don't.
No. Is there some joke about me in here, though? That'd be really funny.
No, I was kind of hoping you might have researched that, but I guess you didn't. So
no,
our listeners will have to go and
just
do the research themselves.
They have that like Noel log, which is just like they made a cake to look like a literal log.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's
also interesting.
There's that one. It's a Yule log, not a Noel
log. Well, they used to call it Noel something else.
Something. Okay, never mind.
Noel Bouchon or something like that. Hence why I brought it up.
Oh, okay. Well, they have that channel where you can just watch the Yule log. Like
I do throw
all
that
day.
on. Every now and then you're like, I just want a
just
burning
want a
log on
fake
my
fire.
TV. It's in 120 FPS, 1440p. That is a crispy looking log.
I love Christmas music very much. I know all the words to all the songs. My father will attest. And Ben hates Christmas music, and I always try to play it in the office, and he doesn't like it. So I
do
play
not
it in
like
silent. I play it in
American
private.
Christmas music at all. I hate listening to the same music over and over and over and over again every single year.
I love it.
I'm not a big tradition guy in general. I grew up in a non-traditional family, not into tradition. So,
Love
like,
it.
for me, Christmas songs are, like, very grating. There's a few I like.
Oh, I love them.
Feliz Navidad being up there. And then, of course, my favorite, and I can sing this if you like, but the Good King Wenceslas. That's
Thank you.
easily my favorite.
When I was a
Here we go.
kid,
Okay.
no, we're not doing it. When I was a kid, my favorite was "All I Want for Christmas Is My Two Front Teeth." Because at one point I didn't have front teeth, and I was like, "All I want for Christmas."
That song and the stupid hippopotamus song
Okay,
are
that doesn't count. I don't
the
like that
bane
one.
of my existence. All those new ones.
So, what other traditions, Ben? You got the rum cake, you got the KFC.
Yeah, I found out the origin of humble pie, which I
What's
probably should
humble
eat
pie?
more of, to be honest.
Yeah.
But so the umbles are what they used to call the organs and offal that come out of any of the wild game. So if a lord gave you the umbles, you would go and chop it up with spices and make umble pie, which then became the idea of you falling from a pedestal and like displaying more modesty. Because you're like modestly begging for just these umbles, the natural fall from these animals to get the organs and actually have something for the holidays, and the Lord bequeathing this upon thee.
And that's something people eat today? That doesn't sound very good.
I mean, people eat mincemeat pie for
Mhm.
sure. Yeah. Game pies are still really big. Definitely a big UK tradition. You see that at some restaurants in Manhattan that are like British based dining. They'll do mincemeat pies or meat pies in general. So you still see that today, but definitely not with the organs.
Yeah, that's what I was. meat
There's
pies are
not a
fine.
guy driving down, I don't know, a road in London. I don't know.
Oh.
Pivot.
So I think now is time to turn to the others in this room.
Well, let's do that. But I have two more things real quick. One
Yes.
is why we celebrate Jesus's birth as the idea of Christmas, whatever it might be, whatever it means to you from a religious standpoint. You're celebrating the birth of Christ, which would have technically probably happened in the spring, but they celebrate on December 25th because they co-opted an old Roman holiday, which was the birthday of Mithra, who's the sun god from back then. So this was a big thing when Christianity was getting really big, is to like co-opt what they called pagan holidays so they'd have more Christian celebrations at that time. That's the reason that we celebrate in December.
Interesting.
And then the other fun fact, which is more of a holiday thing regarding Hanukkah, and I don't know if I've mentioned this on podcast before, but it is holidays. It's not just Christmas. People celebrate tons of holidays this time of year. Hanukkah, people always talk about Jewish people getting Chinese food on Hanukkah or on Christmas
yeah.
because Chinese restaurants are few restaurants that are open and all their food is kosher because they don't mix dairy and meat. So a lot of Jewish families growing up in New York City would go to these Chinese restaurants that happen to be open, one of the few places that were open, and have their succulent Christmas meal at a Chinese restaurant. And that's where that tradition comes from too. Isn't that fascinating?
It's actually really interesting.
Blending of cultures in the melting pot that is New York City.
I didn't know that. That is very interesting.
To our guests.
So, Stacey, I know you know about the three wise kings, the three kings. What other...
The three wise guys, as we call them in New Jersey.
The three magic kings.
The three magic kings. You're the only wise guy in New Jersey.
Hey.
Yeah, just kidding. So what other traditions do you have, Stacey, that you celebrate around this time of year?
Just like Ben, we do celebrate Christmas on the 24th.
Yeah?
Yeah, so we do a big feast. I'm Dominican, by the way.
Stacey's Dominican.
Yeah, so we celebrate on the 24th. There's a big feast. My grandma and my aunt, they all cook at the same time. It's just like the kitchen. It's like a war zone. Like if you go there, they will slap you.
Love that.
Yeah, you will end up crying because they're like, no, there's no children in this house. Like right now, go outside, go play. You're like getting dirty.
Mom,
outside.
it's December. I'm freezing.
well, in DR, would be really hot.
Yeah.
Our summer ends in October. Like,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it gets a little chilly, but not too bad. Something that also happens is that you would wear brand new clothes that day.
Oh.
Yes. So you're waiting for Christmas in like your brand new outfit. And then once like all of the table is set and you start eating, you just enjoy food all at the same time. No one eats first. It's just like everyone needs to be in the house. And then once everyone is fully like, after they finish eating, what happens is that they would call out the neighbors and be like, hey, did you guys finish eating too? And they're like, yeah, we did. And everyone just go outside and start singing.
Oh, so nice.
So we have this thing called the aguinaldas, which is usually picked by the leader of the neighborhood. And they pick a specific house. And these people go and sing to every single one of the houses in the neighborhood. So they bring random instruments. Sometimes it's just a pot, and then they start singing like Christmas songs. So the reason why you finish eating early and then you go outside is because you want to make sure to enjoy the music and then just have a great time. And then the next day, the 25th, there's nothing going on.
Because you're all hungover.
Yeah, there's fireworks that kind of happen between 12 and 1 in the morning. So technically that's the only thing you have. And after that, everyone's just like,
you just chill.
Full.
Yeah. It's so much nicer than having to stress on a Christmas morning, in my opinion.
In terms of eating, like they roast a whole pig.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
But once I moved here to the United States, there's not a chance for us to get a whole pig. And also, I don't think like...
Well, I don't think you have the space to cook it because you work at Fossil Farms.
For a meat company.
But now I've been working for Fossil Farms for a year now. But before this, my family was like, I don't think we're going to eat a whole pig. So let's just reduce it to just like the shoulder. So they do pernil. So they roast a whole pernil.
Ooh, yeah.
Yes. And it's like roasted.
Well, you brought that for the Thanksgiving potluck that we did here.
That
did you
was
not? That was
so
delicious.
good.
Yes. Pernils is like number one thing. I'm trying to get my family to try the wild boar shoulder to do pernil this year. Technically it's the same thing. But they're like, Game meats are not so attracted to Dominican people. They're just so traditional. They're like, oh, beef, pork, and chicken.
Which is interesting because, like, if you think like traditional from a modern kind of outlook, not traditional from a native Dominican outlook, where they'd be like, oh, wild boar is literally the only thing. Or you wouldn't even have wild pigs until the Spanish landed on the islands.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So and nowadays they're like, oh, we would try it. They tried out a little bit during the holidays. I think it was, if I'm not wrong, it was Labor Day. My aunt tried out. She did a little bit of pulled wild boar and she liked it. And she was like, maybe for Christmas.
It's great. I like it better than pork.
But yeah, other than that, we don't do anything special. We had to wait until January to get our gifts. We don't actually get gifts.
Oh.
Yeah. So like family members other than the kids don't get gifts. It's not a thing. You had to wait until January 6th, but I believe now they just...
Epiphany.
What happened?
The Epiphany.
Yeah.
The celebration of the Epiphany.
Yeah, and then that's when the Magic Kings come in. And the
so that's when you get all your gifts.
Yeah, that's when you get
the Kings coming in. Sorry, we're late.
Yes.
We were following the wrong star. Can you believe it?
That's a wise guy over here.
Yeah, but that's how it goes. And like pretty young, I realized that it wasn't like the Magic Kings, that it was like my mom and my family members. So I make sure
the Magic Queens.
Yeah. So I make sure I thank everyone. I make sure I ask them, hey, like, did you really give me this toy? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, thank you very much. And just go on and ruin Christmas for every other kid.
Oh, we love that.
Yeah.
That's really nice,
That's
Stacey. I really like to hear about that because Ben and I are like, we don't really have traditions. And that's very interesting to hear about, especially in the Dominican Republic. You know, another... Yeah, but that's very that's very different from what you'd find here, and I think that's really interesting.
I like that they bring the neighborhood into it.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
TJ, hi TJ.
Hi all.
Tell us about your Irish Christmas.
We drink lots of bourbon.
Not whiskey. Whiskey.
I don't really have many traditions either. Basically, Christmas Eve. Hi, camera. Christmas Eve, we open one present. We get to pick one present from our pile of presents that are there.
That's your Irish. It's pile of presents.
We usually have my grandmother, even though she's Irish, makes amazing, or used to make an amazing meatballs and spaghetti.
Ooh, oh, nice.
So that was always our Christmas Eve, or whatever. We didn't do the fishes. We didn't do anything like that.
Meatballs and spaghetti.
And then Christmas Day is always prime rib.
Uh-huh.
Also.
Yeah.
and that's from me. Because I started cooking at a very young age because my mom is an awful cook. Wonderful mother. Mom, if you ever watch this, you're amazing. You can't cook. She cooked, we used to say she cooked by the fire alarm. So when the fire alarm went off, she said everything was done. So back when I was 8 or 9, my mom once put some awful food in front of me and I refused to eat it. And she pulled the mom card of saying, if you're not going to eat what's on the table, you have to make it yourself. And I was like 9 and I'm like, okay. And from then I became infatuated with cooking and everything like that. So once I got a say in what Thanksgiving's turkey, I didn't want another turkey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I said, I'm making a prime rib. So my grandmother had her own butcher with a Tunnington account. I used to walk into the butcher shop at
awesome.
like 10 or 11 years old and be like, can I get a 3 rib prime rib, put it on the Tunnington account or whatever. And they
awesome.
bone roll and tie.
So cool.
And then I'd walk out to my grandmother's car with my little prime rib. And
You would
like
skip.
That. I would skip. Oh, God.
Oh, God,
Yeah,
yeah.
I've been a meat liver for.
Forever.
This is a dream job for me.
That's awesome.
So then we eat around 3, and then after that we do our gifts in between eating and dessert.
Mm-hmm. This is Christmas Day, right?
Christmas Day.
Okay.
Yeah. And then my grandmother overbought for everybody, so presents took like an hour because everybody had to open one at a time so everybody could see.
Oh, that's how we do it. It takes forever.
That's how we do it,
4 or
too.
5 people.
Yeah,
It's hours.
It's ridiculous. And as a kid, you're like 11 years old. You just want to pile through everything. Uncle Rick got another
Ty.
I was going to say Ty, too.
Okay.
Uncle Rick's been getting gift cards a lot. I hope he's okay.
Yeah, exactly. And then we do dessert. And just to correct Ben, mincemeat pie doesn't actually have meat in it.
No, they took that out. I was reading about that too. That they stopped
it's actually
putting mince in it.
raisins and currants and dates and everything like that. That's what a mince pie is because my aunt loves mince pie. So, so we always had one of them, and she was the only one who ate the damn thing.
Yeah,
so
that sounds
it was
Doesn't sound
disgusting.
very good.
It was awful.
Hot raisins, get your hot raisins.
But other than that, no real like traditions. We did our stockings. The stockings were for the kids to open while the parents still slept.
Oh, that's too funny.
So I would get up at like 6 in the morning, like, Santa come, here's your stocking, kid. Wait,
Get
come
out.
back in 2 hours. Other than that, though, nothing really traditional, no songs, no anything like that. I, too, hate Christmas music.
Yes.
Stacey, you and me are singing this year, right?
I can't stand Christmas trees.
So you don't have a Christmas tree?
In my house now, hell no.
Not even a fake one?
No, God, no.
That'd
And
be
if
even
I
worse.
do get one, it's only because my daughter asked me to go to a Christmas farm and I actually cut down the tree.
Okay. All right.
But I hate them. I hate cleaning them. I hate decorating them. I hate everything about Christmas trees. I think it's stupid to have a living tree in my house that's going to just die.
It's dying.
It's dying already. The
Tree
minute-
corpse.
Yeah. My mother, on the other hand, has containers and containers and containers of Christmas ornaments and everything like that. And she has all of my dad's old fraternity brothers over and they trim the tree. They have a big trim the tree party
nice.
and everything like that. But other than that, no real traditions. Just, I guess I just talked for 10 minutes on traditions, but
No, it's
Other than
okay. That's great.
but we should end soon because we have 4% left on our MacBook.
Oh, all right, guys. Listen. We have some very important closing remarks. So first of all, this episode felt a little chaotic. Thanks for hanging in there with us, guys.
Just like the holidays.
Just
really.
like the holidays, which we're getting into here. And we have one more episode left in the season 1. And after that, we're going to take a little break, which we're sad to do, but has to happen. It's the nature of the beast. So we won't see you guys for a little bit, but in the meantime, remember that we have a YouTube channel. We've got a Twitter. We've got a TikTok, and please follow us at Fossil Farms. That's where you're going to find all the awesome Craveable podcast content while we're away. And we hope to be back around mid-February. See you guys, but please enjoy this next episode. I hope you enjoyed this one. Again, like, comment, follow, subscribe.
And happy holidays.
And happy holidays, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks, Stacey and TJ.
Welcome.
Bye.
Bye.
3, 2,